afternoon. Geez, it's been a while since we did a discussion. Today we're gonna basically cover a bunch of stuff because the last one we did was in August, and that was in dedication to Women's Month. But since then, we've had a number of areas we want to talk about. We're doing Power BI. We are doing a bunch of networking, and we've also, in the process, have done a hackathon and some of the lessons learned. So I'm gonna allow the serial speakers label to just share a brief background of how has since August, September, October, and now November. How has the last 3 months been?
Sure, the last 3 months. I feel like we did so much in the last 3 months. We won a hackathon, obviously.
Yep.
And then on my side, basically, it's just been growing in the data and AI space. And recently joining projects that allow us to use Power BI, Microsoft Power BI. So it's been a very interesting 3 months, and looking forward to see how the rest of the year goes. Obviously, there's 2 months left, but yeah.
And then events on your end?
It's been hectic. Yeah. Too much work and hey, all of those practicals work we've been wanting. Now we are really
Yeah, that's true.
doing them. But overall, now we have so many live environments that we are working on, unlike working on something that you simulate. So right now, we are currently working on real projects, and we are finding real problems to solve.
So I know you've done a bit of work in the infrastructure space on the HPE side, and then you did a bit of work as well on the networking side. So how has that area of growth been for you?
Yeah, it's been amazing, and I even surprise myself sometimes because these things are difficult, but you really have to put your mind into it. Then you apply yourself and hope for the best, because if you are not doing it, then who will be doing it? You need to try and apply yourself, and have some positive stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have sites that are up and running and no problems.
Yeah, on the software side, I'm good.
Okay.
On the CMT side, I'm still trying, but I'm getting there.
Okay. And then, Lebo, you spoke about Power BI. I know you were working on some project on Power BI, and in some of the conversations, you guys were talking about your what? You work off your machine, and then you move from there to a workspace, and then whatever. What happens in that world?
In the Power BI world,
Yes.
or
In there's something that you guys, there's a number of steps you do from your PC onto a workspace, and then what are you doing in that when you do that?
Okay, so basically, Microsoft Power BI, it's a visualization tool that you can use to gain data, extract insights from that. So obviously, we have on your PC, you should have the desktop for Microsoft Power BI. And then you extract the data, which is usually, a lot of companies usually get the data in Excel, so in a CSV file. So as soon as you upload the data, then that's when you can start transforming the data. This is when you basically put it in a more suitable manner that makes it easy for you to be able to analyze and visualize it better. And then after that, then that's when you can publish it online. So publishing it online requires you to then now move it from the desktop, and then you can publish it online for everyone else to be able to access it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you guys were busy as well with IBM Cloud Pack for integration. How's that world? What happens? What's in that world? What happens there? And this is to both of you. So whoever wants to start.
Okay, I can give a brief overview of what Cloud Pack for integration is. So it's basically an integration platform that allows organizations to be able to connect applications and data and services together, so that they can be able to make work easy for them, as in maybe to automate their processes, make it easier to be able to transfer their files in a much more quicker way. So, and this can be done either on-prem or off-prem. So that's basically a brief overview of what Cloud Pack for integration is. Yeah.
Events, tough, easy, light work.
It's it's really really tough because
Yeah.
you have to work with IBM MQ, you have to work with Data Power, Aspera, all of those products. Now they are in one platform. You can choose now. I'm going to use this one and integrate it with this one, and of course APIs. You must use APIs to also connect. So you need to be in everywhere. You need to be in infrastructure and a little bit of the programming side to be able to do the work.
Okay. So with my stale information, because I have very old information, not new, not the latest. So my understanding was Aspera was more the bulk copy of data, especially media files. Then when you have Data Power, it's more secured access into the data.
Yes.
Then when you have WebSphere, it's more collect, transform, and then republish with APIs and API connects.
Yes.
Okay, so I still know a little bit of
You
tech.
do.
And then more interestingly, so I mean, this is not a structured conversation. So obviously we now want to also touch on one of the other areas we've been growing in, and I think that has been our fastest, I'd call it learned environment, which is the Google space. So since our last conversations, events, you have certified in Google Networks. You've also certified in Google, what was it?
Professional cloud.
Cloud Architect.
Yeah.
What's that about now?
So I started on the ACE one, which is the associate one. That one you just get to familiarize yourself with cloud and get to know the basic cloud strategies that are there. Then on the professional one, there you start working with the product. You start creating your VMs. You can create your VMs on the GUI, or if you are clever enough, you can use the infrastructure as code. And also on the networking side, it's just doing those virtual networks for your VM so that they can be able to connect. Let's take if you have 2 or 3 VMs that connect to one storage. So you will need to have a virtual network where you connect all of them, and all of them, they dump their data to that storage store, object store, whether it's object store or it's fire store.
Okay. And then, Lebo, on your end, you did data engineering?
Yeah, database engineering.
Database engineering, but you also did
Machine learning.
machine learning.
Yes.
Now, that space, what happens? So essentially, you've done now Power BI from a Microsoft space,
Yes.
IBM Cloud Pack for data.
Yes.
Then now you're going to Google. So you're really growing in the whole data area.
Yes.
So what's the Google database engineering and then also machine learning as well?
Okay, so the 2 recent certs that I did, firstly with the database engineer, this basically, it focuses more on how to configure the databases that you might need in order to be able to connect to your data. So this is configuring the database using MySQL, SQL, and a whole lot of other SQL commands that you should be able to configure on your PC so that you can be able to connect to the data. And then the machine learning professional cert that I did, this basically covers how to use AI to perform tasks and also have predictions on what might happen to that particular data. So also that includes using different algorithms and so that's the two sets that I recently got.
So as a final discussion point, this generative AI, I've been seeing a lot about it, and what is it about? Events, maybe you can start us off around just generative AI. What does it mean? What does it do? And then we can maybe cover it too.
So generative AI, it's, if I can put it in simplest term, it's automation. It's where you automate a lot of stuff, but you prompt what you need to be automated. Like if you want something, you need to prompt and say, I want something like this. Then it will generate. Let's take you want a code to code an application that do whatsoever. Then you prompt it, then it will give you the answer. But in generative AI, most of people know it, the chat GPT side, where you say, I want you to help me write an email, then it helps. But there is a whole lot of things that generative AI does today. You can put it in Git, and there is something called Copilot. In Git, you can say, write me a function that will do this and that. So it will generate you the files, the source files on the code, and everything that you need in simple language, where you just written simple English and you say you want the function, it gave you the function. Some others use it to draw. If you are an artist, they plug it into Canva. Then you say, I want a picture that is old and using this one that I've uploaded. Then it creates you a nice image. So you can use it in multiple ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Debo, is there anything you want to add?
I think Evans explained it perfectly.
Yeah. So maybe just, again, old people for me. My understanding, and you guys must tell me if I'm wrong in this. My one understanding is that in most of the analytics that we have today, you issue out an algorithm and it gives you results, but based on the data you have.
Yes.
With generative AI, my understanding, or what I sort of got into understand, was it creates new content. So it can go take from one place into another place and then creates new content, which is the difference between what we have in Power BI today. So Copilot would be, now I'm taking all the data I have, comparing it to other pieces of data, and then coming up with a new set of results which were not necessarily in the original.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So those are the areas that we've covered. Now, obviously, going forward, we'll have different discussions around security. Maybe we'll bring in teams that talk about security. But I actually just want to maybe reiterate that this must come back and we must now talk about these things, because it feels like this time that we've just spoken, we've covered a lot, but for someone who's listening or watching this is not, that can't comprehend the last 3 months.
Yeah, that's true.
So how do you summarize in 30 seconds, each one of you, and then I'll do my final summary? Maybe let's start with you, Lebo, because he finishes all points.
Summarize. Okay. We learned more. We grew more. And what else? I think that's all I can say for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You still having fun though?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Me, I can say we are coming. People must watch out. We are really coming.
Okay. So on my end, I think my closing remark would be just, I think we've grown in a way that says we now are practically implementing some of the things that we've been learning. So when we speak to the IBM product sets, we now no longer just talking from a, this is what it's able to do. We're now actually taking a number of use cases, data, and putting it into these, ingesting it into these systems and seeing what it actually produces and interacting with customers with it. When we talk security, I know there's a number of firewalls we've implemented in Sophos, in Fortinet, and then
Palo.
I think as well in Palo. So we've done a number of those sort of practical things. When it comes to end user EDR, XDR, we've done a few implementations around those. Access points, the Aruba edition on the networks. We must talk to those sort of things. In the server space, in Power BI, I like the projects that you've been involved in and the dashboards I'm starting to see. I'm just wondering, they say, most people know how to do things for the world out there. But internally, I don't have these nice, fancy dashboards and the security. So,
Coming soon.
I'd like to walk in and have a view of how many calls we've had, what they mean, and then do generative AI on that. What should we predict or expect will happen in the near future? And hopefully we have these conversations even further.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. See you on the next conversations.
No
Thank
problem.
you.